Good morning. This is volume 11. Carmine from New York tries to teach photography. How's everybody doing today? Thank you for joining me for volume number 11. I love it. 11 days in a row. Teaching, learning about photography. All right, let's jump into it. Yesterday, we were discussing and showing medium format film camera, the Kiev, and I mentioned that whatever you liked in 35 millimeter style cameras, right? Single lens reflex, rangefinder, they have it in medium format as well. Well, I was thinking, I said, I never showed you guys 35 millimeter rangefinder camera. So I wanted to show you that first in this volume before we go into medium format rangefinder cameras. Okay, today I want to introduce to you this rangefinder from 1965. This is the Konica S2. Let me see. Here we go. The Konica S2 Auto. This is a 35 millimeter rangefinder camera. Now, what are we talking about when we say rangefinder camera? Rangefinder camera is the focusing system. The focusing system consists of two viewing lenses. Okay, first, this lens right here, this opening, this optic, is where you would look through. Okay, now in the middle of it is a bright yellow sub screen, and what that does is that is what you're looking through here, through a system of mirrors. From here it goes into here. Okay, here's how the rangefinder works. Say this is the image you want to photograph. There's another image, okay, inside the viewfinder caused by the second opening, the second optic. And as you focus like this, right? Let's see if we can get that to show. All right, as you bring the lens in and out, that's focusing on this Konica, okay? The mirror in here shows inside your viewfinder that you're looking at. Looks like this. This is what you want to photograph. This is the, well, you get the idea. This is the second image. When these line up, let's see. Yeah. When these line up like this inside your viewfinder, it's in focus. If it looks like this, it's not in focus. If it looks like this, it's not in focus. They line up perfectly. You're in focus. This is from 1965, made in Japan, the Konica Auto S2. Originally, when it was built in the 60s, right, it took this flat mercury battery, which powered the light meter, and you also had an auto setting where it would set your f-stop. You picked, it was shutter priority. You picked the shutter, and it would pick the f-stop. Now, it's well built, all metal, made in Japan. Right, you just pull up the film rewind knob. Right, it would expose the back, and there is the back of your camera. Right, pressure plate, take up spool, film load. Now, what do you notice? There's no curtain. There's no fabric curtain. There's no metal curtain. Right, the shutter. That's the back. That's the rear element. Why? Because the shutter is built in to the lens. This is a beautiful, sharp, 45 millimeter, slight wide angle, f1.8 fast. What does a fast lens mean? It lets in a lot of light, so you can use a faster shutter speed. Okay. One other thing this camera has is parallax correction. Now, because you're looking through one optic and the lens is taking the photograph, and it's another optic, right? This distance from here to here makes a difference, especially when you're close. When you're close, right? Say you're going to photograph this, my hand, right? The lens is obviously lower than the viewing lens. So this has parallax correction, where the frame inside what you're looking at actually moves, the frame lines move as you focus closer or further away, so you don't chop off somebody's head in the photograph. Okay, let's see if we can get a nice shot of the lens. There you go. That's the Hoya 52 millimeter. Oh, actually, in this case, it came with this camera. It's a K&F. It's a K&F concept UV filter. So I figured I'd leave it. It was free. It came with the camera, so just leave it on. It's not a Hoya, but it's a K&F. It's nice. It's optical glass. It's good, and it was free. Built-in lens hood. Right? We discussed lens hoods before, right? So you don't have to go buy one. It's built into the lens. You just push it out. Okay, this goes up to 500th of a second, which is very fast for a camera built in the 60s. All metal construction, right? Remember, we're not going to use the light meter, so you don't put a battery in, because it took mercury batteries. They don't make mercury batteries. They make substitutes where the voltage is wrong. For this camera, it'll throw off your light meter anyway. So what are we going to use? Sekonic handheld light meter. Sekonic. Now, what else did I wanted to tell you about this camera? Okay, this is a little trade secret. If you look, I don't know how it's going to show up on a webcam, but anyway, here's the branding of the camera, right? Konica. It's written on the front. There. The model number is stamped on the top. Auto S2. S2. Now, if you look at it, whether you look at it quickly or slowly, it looks like 52, not S2. So, a lot of these cameras, these wonderful rangefinder cameras, are listed on eBay wrong. They're listed as Konica 52 Auto. There's no such camera. It's a Konica S2. So I was able to find this one listed incorrectly as a Konica Auto 52, and because it was never selling, the seller kept lowering the price. I watched it over days, or maybe I watched it a week. And he just kept lowering the price because nobody was looking at it. There were no views because he had it listed wrong. And sure enough, I found it for a low enough price, and I snatched it up. This was basically a brand new, unused camera. In fact, one good way of telling how much use it got is these past. They don't use them anymore, but in Japan, they used to have these quality control past stickers on all Japanese cameras that would come out. And this one, forget about it being not removed. It's not even worn. There's no wear marks. It's mint condition. Today on eBay, this camera, right, is on sale. Buy it now. $52. $52 with $16.25 shipping. The seller, I don't know these people. The seller has 100% feedback. Remember his credibility, 100% feedback, and he has over 300 feedbacks. If I was in the market for another one, I would buy it from that guy. Okay, $52. It's better. I think it's a better price than I even got this one. And on his ad, remember, sellers that have 100%, they'll tell you the truth. And he put the word tested. He tested it. He tested the shutter speed. And remember, a seller with 100% credibility would also tell you the bad parts. And he told the truth. He said, can't test the light meter or the automatic function because the battery is obsolete. All right. Let's see. Okay. Konica Auto S2. Let's see a photograph taken with this camera. Recently, I went to Lower Manhattan to the September 11th memorial. I didn't go on, obviously, September 11th. That's for family. It's open to the public, but on that day, September 11th, if you're going to go to pay respects but also to take photographs, don't go on that day. Have some respect. Leave September 11th for the family and friends, okay? Go the next day. And that's what I did. I went on September 12th, and this is a photograph taken by me with this camera, okay? The Rangefinder Konica S2, okay? Did I list the film? No, I could look it up. I don't remember the film I used. But anyway, this is the camera. This is the product. This is the end product, right? Which is what buying a camera is all about. What's the end product going to look like? So in this photo, right, my light meter reading was here and on the flag, the darkest part of the flag and the brightest part of this reflection. This surface is it's got a little reflection to it. Okay. This is a leading line. Okay. It's a leading line that leads you right up to the flag. Okay. Brings your eye naturally to the flag. And then the flag naturally brings you to the shadow of the flag. Okay. The reason I'm holding this up is solely to show you the quality of the Konica Auto S2 lens, the quality of the camera. Okay, highly recommended if you'd like to get a Rangefinder 35mm. Okay, you don't need to buy a Leica rangefinder, right? Under $100, okay? $52 today on eBay. $52 with the lens and $16.25 shipping. Okay, so that is one rangefinder I wanted to show you guys. Oh yeah, comes with mine came with a Konica lens cap, which is nice. Nice touch because it's branded. You know, I always look like, oh, if I go to resell it, you know, that's a plus. Original, you always say original Konica OEM lens cap. So it's a nice touch. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to a camera that looks older, but it's actually 1 year newer. This is the Zorky 4, right out of Moscow. This Zorky 4, made in 1966. The Konica I mentioned was made in 1965, so this is 1 year younger. Okay. This Russian camera is a copy of a Leica. Okay. The lens, all right, Russian lens is beautiful. I'm looking at my notes. It's a 52mm, which is a odd millimeter lens. 52mm 2.8. Okay, it's a nice lens, beautiful lens. Okay, now if you remember in our other volumes, we were talking about cameras from Russia, the Zorky, cameras from the Ukraine, the Kiev, right? Their mechanisms, right, are very delicate. The shutter mechanisms, very delicate, and you have to cock the shutter and change the shutter speed in a certain order. In this case, okay, with this Zorky 4 rangefinder, you have to cock the shutter first, then change your shutter speed, right? So you cock the shutter by winding. There's no thumb lever, right? You cock the shutter this way, right, till it stops. Then you change the shutter speed up here, and then you can take the photo. Let's listen. Okay, so there's an order that you have to take the pictures in. Okay, now once again, you would hold this up to your eye for the rangefinder, right? And you focus. Here's the focusing here. And once again, there is a yellow right here. There is a yellow mirror that reflects the image into your viewfinder. And as you focus, okay, it takes one image that you're looking at and the yellow duplicate image, and when they're lined up, it's in focus. When they're not lined up, not in focus. Okay. Let's take a look now. What else? Okay. So this is the camera, right? You unlock these two locks. You pull off the back, and that's how you would load and unload your camera, right? Let's see. Open the locks. Turn them. All metal construction. Beautiful. Okay. You open up the back. Okay. You have a take-up reel, which is specific to this camera. Okay. Here's a fun fact. This spool, right? This spool. When I bought the camera, the original spool had a crack in it, and I had to replace it. And from Russia, there was a replacement available, and it was only a few bucks. But anyway, pressure plate on the back. Let's see, right there. Okay, nice and clean. Now let's look at the shutter mechanism. The shutter mechanism in this case is a cloth shutter. Right there, it's a cloth shutter. Okay, let's see, did I wind it up? Yeah, this one, you have to put the back on, so I really can't show you its operation, but it works perfectly. All right, let's reassemble this. Okay, put that back on. All right, the back slides off. Not the most convenient thing when you're holding the back of your camera and you're reloading, doing some street photography. It's not the most convenient thing in the world. I've done it. It's possible. Now let's see. This is all real world stuff, folks. This is like as it happens. Now, trying to figure out. There we go. Load that in. Okay. Let's put our top back on. This is live, no editing. Okay, got to get that in the track. Sorry for the delay, but this is real photography happening. Okay. Now, this camera today on eBay from a seller that has 100% positive feedback is selling for $100 with the lens. $21 shipping from the United States. Okay. So the Zorky 4, the one I just showed you, is selling for $100 plus $21 shipping on eBay, 100% positive feedback, credibility. He has 663 feedbacks. Now, let's take a look at a photo taken with the Zorky. Okay. This is a photograph. Let's see. Okay, this is a photograph of a local prison. Okay, and I did this. Don't forget now. This is 35 millimeter. So when I cropped it and printed it, this is what they call 16:9 aspect ratio, right? 16 length, 9 high. It's just an aspect ratio because I wanted to get that whole look of the prison, two fences with the opening and the guard tower. Okay, the focusing isn't so hot on a webcam, but you get the idea. The metering was with a handheld Sekonic, right, to get the perfect exposure, because the Zorky doesn't even have a built-in light meter. Fully manual, fully mechanical, no battery required. All right, so that's an example of the photograph taken with the Zorky. Okay, let's see. What else did I want to discuss today? All right, so what we'll do is now that you have a good understanding, I hope, of the rangefinder, how rangefinders work, right? What they look like. The next time we meet, tomorrow, hopefully, we will look at medium format rangefinders. Okay? It's another whole separate part of photography, right? I did a little research on a better way to explain why a photo taken with medium format and a photo taken with a 35 millimeter, same speed, same lens, millimeter wise, same aperture, same film. Why, when you look at it side by side, the difference is there, that the medium format just looks better. And a couple of things came up. I tried to look it up, and the best I can come up with was an analogy that a tattoo, I said this before in another volume, that a tattoo artist said. And he said, if you were making a tattoo, two tattoos of the same exact image, and one tattoo was going to be the size of a postage stamp, and the second tattoo was going to be 3 times the size, right? The tattoo that's larger would look better as far as the detail. The smaller postage size tattoo is the same exact tattoo. Nothing was left out. But because it's compressed, all those details are compressed, they're there. It's harder to see the details as compared to when the tattoo is larger. And that's the same for medium format film photography compared to 35 millimeter film photography. The negative is just bigger. There's more information. All right. It's just something that if you go to my website, CarmineTaverna.com, and you look at photographs that were taken with medium format film cameras, and then you look at photographs, similar photographs taken with 35 millimeter cameras, you'll be able to see. You'll be able to see the difference. Yes, the cameras, medium format film cameras, are bigger. They're heavier. In some cases, they're more expensive because the lenses have to be bigger, right? The film, you only get about 12 frames, depending on if they're square format or 6:9 format. You can get as few as eight pictures, right? So there's that. And on 35 millimeter, you can get as many as 36 photographs. 72 if you use the oddball half frame film cameras. All right. Well, one other thing, I just want to backtrack back to the Konica. Okay. The reason I really enjoy using this camera is, you see this, right? This is the focusing knob, right? This is infinity, right? And this is its closest. This is 1 1/4 inch throw, we call it, right? from here to there. It's the whole range of focusing. It's removing this dial 1¼ inches, as opposed to, let's say, on a single lens reflex camera, right? You would turn this nearly one whole revolution to go from close up, right, to infinity. You would have to do that kind of movement. Here, you have this close to you, boom, boom. It's either boom or boom. That's it. Now you're in focus right here. Boom. It's just, that's how fast it is, because the swing is 1¼ inches from infinity to, what's the closest? From infinity to 3 feet. That's 3 feet. That's infinity. Okay? Makes a difference. You can focus faster. All right, guys. We've gone almost a half an hour. Remember, comments are on. You can comment. Subscribe if you want to. You can email me, blackandwhitephoto@aol.com. Go to my website. Look at all my photographs. I have thousands of photographs showing the date, the location, and the gear I used on most photographs. And that's it. So today we went over 2 brands of 35mm rangefinder film cameras. All right, next time we meet, we just might look at a medium format rangefinder. All right, guys, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great night. And if you can't sleep, watch this video. I might put you to sleep.